What's up, everyone, and welcome back. Earlier, we played Map Memory, and Valen lost the Twitter poll for his drawing of Split. So it's time for us to talk about the punishment. The punishment is to wear this atrocious set of goggles for the entirety of our breakdown of that map victory there for Cloud9 on Lotus. And what a map it was. In all honesty, Valen had these goggles on like, what, 8-9 rounds ago when we thought maybe Crew was going to lock it up?
I couldn't handle it anymore. I had to put these on.
It was an OT, right?
Yeah.
I think he put them on about OT. He got the colors for both teams, though. Props, though. Pink.
See that?
Pretty well done. How is it? Is it like fully dark in there? What's the experience
So it's fully
like?
dark, but because it's blue, like at the top of my eyes sees like blue outlines. It's very trippy. And
Seeing Cloud9.
Yeah,
I'm literally on Cloud9 right now.
Visions of Cloud9
It's crazy.
and their dominance. I mean, seriously, though, the precipice that game teetered on, right? I mean, Cloud9 almost dropping Lotus. We were giving that map to them when we were doing our pregame.
Yeah.
12-6. 12-6.
Very surprising win, honestly, because they were down 12-6. But at the same time, Lotus has always been one of Cloud9's best maps, in my opinion, especially leaning on Leaf on the Neon. But he had a very slow start. So that could be like a very important reason why they were down so big. But once Leaf started to heat up, started to get the rotations, hit some shots, they started to come back with ease.
And it's so heartbreaking for Crew because there were so many rounds for them, just miraculous ones they pulled off. But these are the ones we were talking about.
I was gonna say,
had to cover his eyes for.
Remember this round?
We're in a gameplay, so I think Valen's got to take over here.
Yeah, 21. It's when they had the Killjoy lockdown, which is like flood into a pit.
Yeah, round 21. You remember?
Oh yeah, round 21. So they had the Killjoy lockdown. They flood into pit. I think Rooney, that's when he gets his collateral.
Not quite. It was Celsius. Close.
Yeah.
What about this one? This is round 24?
Round
The one they got
24,
to OT? It's another C hit?
Round 24, C hit to get into overtime. That was actually a 3v1 at the end.
Indeed,
It looked like Crew was actually going to take that round, but then it became a 3v1. Look at the triple swing at the end right here.
Oh,
Perfect triple swing.
What the heck?
Wait,
Double check these goggles,
Yo,
bro.
check 'em,
Are you
check 'em.
sure?
My memory is too good.
I'm going to be trying these on later,
Wait a
man. That was
second.
actually nuts.
That's impressive.
Was it? Yo,
You literally said triple swing as they're triple swinging
no
to
way.
kill him
Yo, I
backside
swear
on
it's
C.
blacked out completely.
It was perfect.
That triple swing was perfect. Get them into OT. The microcoms are there. They're looking phenomenal, and then they take it home.
All right, Cloud9, they're sitting pretty with a 1-0 map lead in the series. Before we head to map 2, let's go ahead and check in our A-Lab shoot-around. It's going to be Nagzet stepping back on to the stage today, Mimi. And while they fell just short in map 1, they're looking to extend it to 3.
That they did. It now is adding to the tally of close maps that Crew have lost. That's the 12th or the 13th they've been involved in, and I believe their 11th loss thus far. It has been a heartbreaking season, and that map is no exception. But they have to put them that map behind them, because that was a strong one for Cloud9. You pushed them very, very close. Now we're going to Ascent, which is home territory for this squad. They've been playing on it consistently throughout the season, and I don't think that there's any chance for like an easy win here. You just have to shrug off that first map and hope.
Yeah, there definitely won't be an easy win on Ascent. But the positives to take away from Crew are that the players are kind of hidden right now, especially Davies. And do we see Davies, continue on the KO like we saw previously, this stage, or does he go back into this Killjoy that we saw last map? He was popping off on the Killjoy. I kind of want to see him stay there and just see what Crew can cook up in these new roles, but that might ruin what they had on the map.
Yeah, Valen, just talk to me about the recovery from a close map like map loss like that. We talked earlier today about this team having suffered more of those than any other team this whole stage. How do you mental reset?
Oh man, for Crew, I don't even know how you mental reset, especially when you've been losing so much, and then you feel like you have the game in your hands 12-6, and that happens. Man, if they can come out with the next map win or even the series win, that's very impressive on the mental fortitude from the team. And for Cloud9, I mean, they probably just started slow. They had an off game at the beginning, but now that they ramped up and that they made the comeback happen, they're going to be max momentum into map 2. And like Sean was talking about the roles and the comps, I wanted to hit it on Cloud9 a little bit because they're running this double controller with a Viper, single initiator Sky, and it's actually very good for blocking off information from mid, cat, and you can kind of line up these executes that are very unexpected because of all the lines being cut by the Viper. So if they continue to run that comp today, I think it's going to be very hard for Crew, but I'm rooting for Crew.
You're talking comps. The teams are loading into Agent Select now. I want to see if you can get these comps.
He already got one, right?
I know. I have a feeling he's going to nail the one, but go ahead and list them out. What do you think?
All right, Crew, they have a lot of subs. They're going to run the OG comp. They're going to be running KO, Sova, Killjoy, Jet, Omen, and Cloud9 is running Omen, Viper, Sky, Jet, Killjoy.
We just saw Breach locked in.
We
close.
We just got a breach from Cloud9.
What do you think about that?
We just got a breach from Cloud9 in their third pick. So far, you're 3 for 3 on the. I know he turned around like he could see the comps.
Not on here anymore.
It's not. They're not there. They're not there.
So let's talk about this though, because it's been a while since we've seen Breach on the map. The last time I remember it is like Optic 2022, testing this one out. And there's a lot of cool ideas you can do. On your defensive side, I expect that Breach to be playing in mid a lot. You can fault line across to A main or B main and support. You can set up flashes a lot, particularly like these double flash executes and retakes that can be really strong in this double initiator comp.
Yeah, but you usually see this Breach in like a triple initiator comp, and they're running a double initiator. Breach, Sky, no Sova, no KO. Those are goated agents for the map. How does Cloud9 win here?
I don't know. It's a bit of a surprise on the Cloud9 side of things with the Breach coming out, and it will be Davies jumping back to the KO while Nagzet will take control of the Sentinel role with that KJ for himself. Here we go, ready for map number 2. Let's send it back over to our casters. It's the internet's own Bren Inside Show.
Internet's own. We belong to the internet.
I feel like that's how it is sometimes.
Raised by the internet, yeah. Let's get into it, man. Map number 2. Map number 1 was just absurd. I mean, yeah, how many more times do we need to say it? But now we're heading into Ascent, which has its own twists and turns and surprises.
Heineken 0.0.
Sorry, the Heineken 0.0 Ascent. Yes.
That's where we're headed.
That's where we're heading.
And I do feel like this composition is really interesting. It's like they've taken a Haven comp and pulled it into Heineken 0.0 Ascent.
Yeah. It is very interesting because, I mean, Heineken 0.0 Ascent does require, you know, some of that mid-round info gathering agents, KO, Sova, really powerful tools that you can get a grip on, you know, where teams are landing when they're running their attack side. So
the info is very important.
It is really important. And now Cloud9 are opting into this. Double flashes, maybe the idea behind it to set up Leaf a little bit more, really enable him, but
I think the idea behind it might be to throw off prep for other teams in the playoffs. If you have to be worried about 3 different compositions that Cloud9 could pull out, that's a lot of VOD review you have to do.
And so it's a nuanced one. Zephyr moving forward, spraying it down with a frenzy. Any sort of bullets landing, there's a significant amount of damage done. Flash has to be active. Leaf already helping him out as well. Moves onto the site, flash rebounds, and well, Davies ripping off the heads, making himself known on the map, on the site.
Team flash. Count them up. Let's see. Let's see how disciplined Cloud9 look with this. They're breaking the door a little bit here. Taking space up in heaven. They still have a Trailblazer. Yeah, here it comes.
Yeah, using it to clear through. Spots one of them. Dart broken almost immediately off of that when they got to know a player's main, but it's a crossfire setup just towards hell. Patience from Rooney. Holds his ground, but doesn't expect Nagset there. And tap, not enough. 3 in a round for Davies. Pistol round claim for Crew.
Yeah.
See there's that fight without wind.
I'm intrigued to see how this one runs. We've seen when Cloud9 were running their Viper composition, and that included the Sky. The Sky was playing towards tree a lot and trying to flash through the smoke, play aggressively. They had tons of different setups. Okay, Cloud9's 6th player, who's also their assistant coach, has some crazy compositions that he brings out to the table occasionally. So I'm smelling the Cupid influence here.
I'm gonna throw them off.
Additionally, our stats producer's telling me that Cupid's EMEA team used to play Breach on this map too. So, the plot thickens.
Oh, okay. Really,
No charges
following the trail there. The paper trail from many months ago. As the widest could have been cooked up. Stuns, Elsis looks to at least contest it. Not likely. Flash though, on the side. Oh no, don't let him get away with this one. There it is, cleaned up for Zelsis. 4 versus 4, Rooney. Oh, close to the smoke, jumping round. Does this get spammed? Oh! Jumping round, making sure that they're taking good fights. Round the side, 2 players meet. Melzer. It's a rifle dropped. Important one. Don't want to let this one get dangerous. Skipping a hop, the movement from Jake. He avoids all the bullets going his way. Drone in their faces as well. Still with the rifle. They look like they want to face this one. Taking the fight, there it is, together. Aligned with the idea. And so, 2 of them surviving. Carry forward 2 of the rifles. Good beginning.
It's not exactly what Crew would have wanted. They'd like a little more firepower into this round, but they still had a player, Melzer, who didn't buy. So either they save for Kesnit to get an operator online, which I don't really like on the attack side of Heineken 0.0 cent, but they can afford the third rifle to make this a pretty dangerous bonus round. I'm just looking towards Cloud9 for the ideas. What kind of broad themes are they bringing with this composition to start off?
Big fight occurring.
Guiding light early with the one-way to try and push people back and set Leaf up in wide.
A shock dart. That knife is not going to clear Leaf. Still holds it. Flash goes, though. Becomes that much more dangerous to play this position. Still got his team to bail him out, though, as the one-way is renewed.
Yeah, and they just swing back onto the angle. It's really slow from KRU to start things off. The first 30 seconds, not much has happened. They don't control A main even. They're 1-1-3ing, but the 3 players didn't take a portion of map control.
Time to hunt.
And this is late in the round, the minute mark. Trailblazer gets used to clear out Catwalk. Could definitely be someone sneaking up in that spot earlier in the round.
Spots 2 of the players sitting in mid here, and slow and steady might be the approach from KRU, but it is going to be removing again your options.
Look at Rooney currently and the way that he's holding his fault line. This looks like Rooney's going to hold it off A main contact or cat contact.
Knife. Is there going to be a fault line? There it is.
There it is.
30
Runs
seconds
all the way
left.
through. A smoke as well. Drop down towards it. Melzer on the side now. Looks like a collapse, trying to split the way into this one. Flashed up. There's one. Davies was playing anti, though. Active with the flash, but Leaf has dropped it along with a spike. Here in main, gaining that ground. There's only 13 seconds left in this one. They've got to try and reclaim it. Wow. Lined it up for Rooney, not even anticipating the other player. Didn't know where he was, but he's blessed with it anyway.
The fools gave us a window. Smash
All right.
through it.
I'm very intrigued to see how Rooney's breach utility is going to end up being global on this defense side.
One enemy remaining.
We bring in the body
That
bags.
looks very impressive, doesn't it? The way that he ends it with the 3 kills there. But it's the fault line that really intrigues me that happened early on. And I wonder, how is he going to be able to have that level of global impact if KRU start running a 1-3-1 default and taking mid control to start?
Right there.
Maybe KRU aren't going to do that too much.
Yeah, that would really start to, I think, make Rooney a little bit antsy of playing this top mid position. They start to threaten it, which they
Now,
are.
yeah, Recon 0 point come down mid, and they are playing that 1-3-1.
Do
Pushing Rooney out.
Yeah, away from that position. There's a turret to take contact as soon as they cross this one, but there's nothing set up to push them away now. And it gets a bit awkward, doesn't it? Because they could be pushing into spawn, could be taking market. You don't really know if you are Cloud9. Leaves a big gap in towards mid. Leaf, though.
Oh, bold.
Yep, takes that as a timing, apparently, to just swing out a cat.
He swings out cat as the Trailblazer came through and cleared bottom mid. It is still thought out, the timings that he's gone for. And the Seekers get Zeppa good information and allow Rooney to play back in this area.
To mid, crossfire. Rooney takes the first contact. He sees a shoulder. That's enough. No way! No one clears it! Pushed up deep into the corner.
One enemy remaining.
Mistakes are made. And Cloud9, of course, they jump on it.
Yeah, this looks great from Cloud9, but partly because KRU can't get a feel for where the defenders are playing.
No.
They were so confident that Zelsis was playing on site there. They've mapped it out in their head. Okay, we know that Rooney's in spawn right now as breach. We know that there's 3 players over towards A. That Killjoy is going to be anchoring back B. Let me just jump into market and ready my recon dart to punish this Killjoy. Wait, what? She was behind me the whole time?
I was the smarter.
You know, when you make those mental maps and try and visualize where players are standing,
Hold those angles.
a small oversight like that can happen very easily.
Another fight. Paranoia, though. Advantage given to KRU in terms of the space they can take off of that one. Dashing into the smoke. Swinging out wide as well. Look at that 1-for-1. Feeling the heat here. Teleport into the back. See if they can claim anything else here, but the rifles are really doing all the work in the world. Vulnerable up, Davies, where was he running to? Corralled in that corner.
And it looks like we're going to see a different defensive setup here from Cloud9. You see the Jet moving over towards B. They flip. Killjoy playing A.
This is 4 players.
Showcasing out there. Yeah.
Players from Cloud9 grouped up towards B main.
I assume this is going to be
Mid is
some level
completely
of
open.
mega like flash combo to set Leaf up and fight tiles.
What are they doing this one? Paranoia, fault line, flash, everything being expended, but it's a team flash. Leaf wasn't ready for it, but the rest of his team certainly is. Zephyr, round the side, round the back, any sort of containment would be good, but no, it's Cloud9 again on top of it. Not ready. Crew to absorb any of that aggressive play. It's one of the benefits you get when you run quirky little compositions like this, Josh, as well. It's, listen, everybody knows to anticipate maybe a bit of a tiles crunch.
Yeah.
That comes in from there when you play the standard comps on Ascent. But when you have something like this, you have to account for different pieces of utility as well that's just going to be thrown at you. The fault line there as well. You just don't really anticipate that if you're just trying to play for a mid default of tiles.
Yeah, I would agree. Crew didn't adjust, thinking about that aggression coming through B main instead of coming through mid. And yeah, we did see the team flash come through as well. But also think about that from Crew's perspective. They have to deal with a paranoia at the start, then a guiding light, and then the breach flash coming through. It's just cascading utility.
Layers of it. Slapped on one after the other, gives them the advantage. Now we see.
It's a different setup again, actually.
Yeah,
Brian.
it is.
They do the fault line off the rip towards B main, and they actually have both initiators playing B. Very unusual.
Crew are just hoping, hunting, that somebody will open themselves up and give them a freebie, a bit of a kill. The Sheriffs and the Knives. Cloud9 looking disciplined.
Zephyr used his Trailblazer a little earlier on just to see whether it was fake pressure in B main, and it wasn't. Trailblazer got broken early. Unfortunately, that means that they don't have too much great information. Zephyr could reflash this as well, but they can hear the turret. They know there's at least one person here, and now a few.
Yeah. Dart sent to the back of the side here, and it is just blinding, nearsighted. I don't know if they've moved over towards the site. Lane kind of smoked off here. It's a little bit all over the place. Spam into the common angles, but it does get them into the site. It does the job. Rolling Thunder, pushing them back, pushing them through. Everybody stunned up. Everybody trying to survive from Crew. Right to the back of it. And they do. They wait it out. They bait it out. And that's still landing these shots.
Down B.
Now to the Sheriff now. One
remaining.
shot left. And down to the one-on-one. Spike dropped down at the feet. Exchanges the gun, gets a couple more bullets from it. Rooney was holding that. The time becoming an issue. Spike needs to be picked up.
10 seconds
Naxa doesn't know
left.
where this is cleared from.
the spike.
He's running. He knows he has to plan it. Rooney has played this one well. Aftershock down the side. Enough time to get this plan down.
Spike's down.
Stunned up. Solo has to be this shot hit. One shot to the brain will do it, but Rooney, no. It was all set up for him.
It still got dangerous, though. That was an anti-eco for Cloud9. And it came down to a 1v1 with Nax hitting some very nice shots. Cloud9, though, able to handle it and go up 5-2 here without dropping around since that pistol, I believe.
So looking quite collected.
Okay, so now Crew have massive ultimates to work with. I mean, any of the three that they have can be comboed into a push, and it looks like they're going to keep it simple. Null command off the rip. That's going to take Celsius out of this. He's not playing an anti-KO setup.
Oh.
Just now running away.
He might get caught by that. He dets it all just before he gets tagged. Very early detonation there, the nanoswarms. Including that. Fragment nades drop down at the feet. Nobody can really play market here. The gold Crew get onto the site, but they have left nobody at any of the extremities. They are all playing into the back of the site here. And that's a dangerous prospect when you consider Zelsis has that lockdown in his back pocket. They're going to use theirs just to buy a bit more time.
Take flight.
But it is dangerous. All to the side of it. What's the play? What gets made? They do have the Hunter's Fury. Class is going to have to use that at the back of the site if the lockdown is used. But the time running down like this, Cloud9 maybe feel like they actually can't opt into it.
They've used a lot of utility just to clear out B main and clear out spawn.
There it is, finally being used.
There's not a huge amount of time.
He's going to have to use this lockdown. Or, yeah, okay, Hunter's Fury to try and clear it. Cloud9 know they can play this. It's going to be a player out of the action. Not holding a gun, not holding the fight, yet still it's Crew. They defend it. To the bitter end. And all of them surviving. Will the spike take away any of their lives? Not quite. Round blessing them a little bit there as they get out alive, flawless, keeping all the guns.
But that took all three major ultimates. Davies to get onto site, and then the lockdown and the Hunter's Fury to win the post-plant battle.
Flawless.
So although it was clean, although it was flawless, that one doesn't look replicable until the next ult cycle comes all the way back online. So for Crew, they need to find value elsewhere. And how many rounds do they need? How attack or defense sided is this Cloud9 comp going to be? I don't know. I don't think there's any way of knowing.
Oh, that's a good tag. Suppressed. Leaf. He's even tagged as well from the drone.
He needs help here
He
from Rooney.
needs major help here.
They're not going for him.
Still has the dash. Gets out of there. Rooney was looking to try and help him out, bail him out as well, I think, by just taking that angle early and firing a bit of shots. Flash into the smoke. Zephyr wants to take the fight with the Seekers. Quick pivot. Instantaneous as they realize there's a huge presence of players there from Cloud9 fighting over mid. Jake is in wine. Extra layer,
spike.
extra backstab. Sprays it. It's awkward. It's a bit messy, but it gets the job done with the spike drop down, smoke drop down. Teleport as well, just to try and evade his positioning. It's picked up though.
Davies got it without having to expose himself too much to Jake.
Audible call gets made. They want to fight over tree as the door's broken. It's a cool play. They got plenty of time to do it. Left it to 2 for Cloud9. Shot! Right to the head. Beautiful. You can only see the top of it. And it has evened it out here. Jake still, they know his position's there into main, but trying to retake this one with the operator. Leaf. Could all go wrong in the blink of an eye. Over the top, drops down, spots it. And a classic in his hands. Widest swing from Davies, really good, really great. Making sure to contain that main swing as well. Didn't get overwhelmed.
Davies was on a heater map 1, and it's absolutely continued into map 2 here. Crew with those last 2 rounds have suddenly made this look a lot more even. It's a very nice idea in the mid round to push back, but Davies' individual form is also carrying them through a lot of these close, sticky situations.
Yeah.
He's got 13 kills currently. Cloud9 pushed down onto an eco. Never count them out in these spots.
Oh. The Crew did need that. Getting that 4th online here. Dangerous. With the rifle.
There.
Yeah, I mean, Leaf was hoping for something early.
So now the suppression comes off. Zephyr can heal up Leaf.
Cover going
Get that
out.
duelist with the Vandal back up to somewhere near full. 100 health, definitely a little more vulnerable.
So the question in terms of just, you know, how good this Cloud9 comp is going to be looking when they swap sides over towards the attack side. You know, when we talk about traditional comps, we think of Ascent as a very defense-sided map. But so far, so good. Oh. Could get scrappy, could get strained, but no. Crew biding their time at the beginning, really waiting this one out. Rooney, great reset there with the aim, almost finding the second, but not really doable. Celsius now on a bit of a hunt to see if he can salvage maybe a rifle. We'll get into position here to take some away.
But this looks very solid from Crew.
Yeah.
Cloud9 clearly have some nice ideas of what they want to do on this map, but they've let really one crucial round slip through their fingers, and suddenly they're looking at 5-5.
Well, there's the rifle. That's what he was looking for.
Else is still in a 1v3 though, with the spike planted.
Is he going to go for this? I mean, you should just be saving it.
Probably.
Yeah.
But at the same time, their loss bonus is going to be fairly large. He could give it a crack.
Time running out though. Enough money for Crew really to buy as well. Exits don't do too much for you.
It does help a little bit just to suppress Crew's economy.
Okay.
You don't want it getting out of control. But yeah, you're right. We're heading into round 11, round 12. Not going to make too much difference.
Yeah, gets the one.
Especially when Davies is set up max money. But yeah, to be honest with you, Cloud9 have only really let one round slip through their fingers, round 9. They had the massive ult disadvantage in round 8. And then with round 9 also falling away,
Enemy remaining. Spike
they then
down
lose
mid.
the eco round afterwards. And they're dead even at 5 apiece.
Important for Crew as well after losing map 1 in the fashion that they did. Does put a stopper on things. There's always the chance that Cloud9 would run them over. All that momentum. They gathered as well in the second half of Lotus.
There is also a chance that they do the same on the next half. We haven't really seen this double flash comp.
Yeah.
It could be very attack-sided. Here's Rooney under a ton of pressure. This is what we asked earlier. What happens when he gets pushed super heavily in mid?
Yeah, the turret gets broken there. There's no real trap play off of it.
No. And previously, Zelsis was pushed up to market to help Rooney. Now he's all the way in the back B site.
Take flight.
The big gulf in terms of the info that Cloud9 are going to be able to gather. That's what we were saying was one of the downsides of running this comp. You don't have that constant refresher with the KO knife and the Sova dart.
And in fact, in the first 40 seconds of the round, Zepp has used both flashes and Trailblazer, just now getting one of his flashes online. So this is where he really lacks info. The crew have played this round very well.
Yeah.
They've created mid presence, created catwalk presence. They've pulled Cloud9 away from A main even. There's a lot of the map where C9 have no good info.
Uptime bought though, the turret can get back online towards the back of the site here. Celsius is going to be looking to try and anchor this down. 28 seconds left, just about making their way through here, but a spam might have found something. Would have been a lucky one if Leaf did. Stun, connects. Celsius needs some help now. Needs to get bailed out. Dodging, ducking, weaving. It's a double face, though. He can't get a clean fight. Davies. There was that line of defense. Meanwhile, guess what? Gesnit was lurking up through Cat. And he found Zeppa. Rooney. Risky play, wide swinging down, but that's it. Okay, crew. Gather the 6th round. They take the lead here in the first half of the set.
Before the switch.
Yeah, and crew are actually dismantling this comp very nicely. They've found that hole, which is towards B and market, and they're pushing Zelsis into backside and then exposing the weakness. B main aggression seems like it would be really good with this composition, and you keep re-flashing Leaf back onto the angles and challenging for that. But when you give crew B and you give them mid, it's actually looking quite weak. Cloud9 have run 3 players over on A for the majority of this. For the final round, they swap it up. Turret holds B contact. Rooney and Leaf over towards that B site.
Interesting.
So this adaptation does look good, but even at its best, it would only put Cloud9 even.
Ah. So the turret gets broken. There's a fault line to push them away.
Here.
Flashbang. Shut them down.
And yeah, crew have been doing a good job, I think, of the slow siege approach to this map, making sure that they can take out any of the Killjoy utility, exploring mid mainly as well, appropriately.
And Davies gets his ult online. This was a major tool that won them round 8. And the player that has some kind of retake ultimate, Rooney, is hard anchoring the site. But crew decide not to go to B. They heard the Killjoy here, but they've decided to hit on the other side of the map.
It didn't really have any prior space.
No, but I think an explosion out through B main would have been a decent call. Nags is going to end up being the lurker here as... What the?
They just anticipated it.
Nags gets it! Nags got the kill anyway!
He was stunned up. Should have been a dead man. He wasn't. He's still alive. He's still kicking. And then the rest of the hit comes in through A. Spike planted now. Nokuman ripping through. Fades away eventually, though. No more suppression with the abilities. Now that's like going to be that dash. Leaf using it. Works his way in across heaven with the smoke. Drops down into it. Trying to take the fight when the Hunter's Fury is active. Spam! Right through the wall. Collects it. Knives ripped out on top of it. Cloud9. They swarm. They overwhelm. They bring it to 6-6 here for this first half.
Well, that retake looked fabulous, but the half in general, not great from Cloud9. Better than the first one on Lotus, though, and they still managed to win that map. But this series has been all over the place compared to our expectations. Remember that this is one of our top 2 teams playing against a currently winless squad, and yet crew keeping it super level.
Can crew really keep pushing it? Going to be the big question as we look forward to that second half as well. For Cloud9, more questions about their composition, seeing what they've got up their sleeves on the attack sides. But before we even get into that, Mimi is standing by with a sideline report on Cloud9.
Thanks very much, Bren. Yeah, I was standing by with Cloud9 and listening in on their comms throughout that first half. And there's been a lot of questions around this team with a young IGL and Rooney coming in, and a lot of voices already pre-existing in this squad. And from what I heard from them, a lot of the pre-round ideas were coming from Rooney, who's known as the IGL for this squad. But when it came down to the more micro plays, it was Leap, who's actually super proactive for them when he's playing that Jet, looking for ideas in the mid-round, calling for utility from his teammates. And that's where you saw a lot of those early gambits, like the A and B main pushes that were working for Cloud9. But what wasn't working was a lot of those late mid rounds, where a lot of those voices can be a disadvantage, where the comms got chaotic and some of those late rounds were falling apart, giving us this now very close half against Crew. But a guy to keep their vibes up, who I'm sure is going to be pivotal in this halftime, is Zelsis. He's very much an emotional leader for this team, the guy who's keeping people calm, hyping his teammates up when they do something well, and also helping to suggest things when something may go poorly. But for those adaptations at this halftime, MCE is the guy you got to listen to. There was not a single timeout called in that first half, so his input has not been heard with this team thus far, and with a new composition being played, we'll have to see if that input can help them find the right ideas to get back into this one, because if not, Crew might be pushing us towards a third and final map of this series. We'll see how all of that goes as I send things back to Bren and Sideshow to close out the map.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mimi. That's very interesting as well, that it's a lot of like those audibles just playing off of it, Leaf calling most of it as well, in terms of, you know, what he wants to be set up by. It makes sense, right? You know, as a Jet player using their mics, it's rare and ranked, but it does happen on the pro stage.
Yeah, the top pro players, the ones that really dictate the pace of the game, are usually extremely vocal with that kind of stuff. I'm thinking Durka with Fnatic as well, Leaf with Cloud9. And Zelsis has a reputation in the past as well with the teams that he's played on as being a very vocal player that's involved in a lot of that mid-rounding too. It is interesting to note that Mimi brought up, I didn't even think about it, but yeah, no tack timeouts called by Cloud9 at all, despite the 4 rounds in a row that Crew got in that first half. It does make me wonder how much time has been put in the scrims and, you know, server time to really flesh this out. They've definitely got some core ideas nailed down here, C9. But I'm still feeling like this might just be a gambit to throw people off in playoffs.
Yeah. A red herring, push people's attention away, waste a bit of time in the preparation as they look forward as well into the later days and matches. But the focus for now on this pistol round, attack side. Dash, the Trailblazer, Paranoia as well. Can't see a bloody thing. Davies collects it, yep, leaping through the air. Accuracy is key. Davies still, oh my God! Davies denied the ace, but he's done the work. Paved the foundations for a lovely pistol round win for Crew.
He looks absolutely monstrous today. What's his wake-up routine?
Yeah, what's the routine?
What did he eat for breakfast?
What's the peripherals? Am I seeing a Wu-Ting? Like, what's he using up there?
What's the sense? What's the cross there?
What's going on?
19 kills for Davies, and I think he had 31, I believe, in the first map.
Something close to that,
An absolutely crazy performance today. And it's helped pull them through so many small situations and close rounds, like, for example, that one. Taking out Leaf instantly just kills all of the early pressure that Cloud9 were throwing in.
See if you can now grant a bit of momentum for Crew. Leaf?
All right, Leaf, you're good too. All right.
Singular Leaf versus Crew. Give him a sheriff. What can he do? That wasn't intentional.
Dr. Seuss
Sounded
wannabe.
incredibly corny. Was not intentional.
Nag's getting aggressive too, pushing in front of that turret that he's got set up for B main contact. And of course, with Crew's comp, you kind of know what they're bringing to the table, but it's also just such a well-rounded composition for Ascent.
Yeah. It's very standardized for a reason.
And there's also, when everybody plays a comp like this, you don't have to invent stuff yourself. You can see other people doing it, iterate on it, figure out what works. And so, in some sense, once a few teams start playing it, it becomes easier for other teams to be good on it too. And that snowball effect that we see in the meta does sometimes happen. Cloud9 here very much going away from that. So Cloud9 start round 15, the anti-bonus, all grouped up in B main. As we take another look at the replay here of Melzer grabbing these couple of kills with the Bulldog. It was very clean. But the positioning from Cloud9 to start this round seems a little dangerous to me. A lot of teams on their bonus round will go for some kind of aggressive tiles crunch.
Now we're seeing it. The first implementation of those timeouts that have been saved up for Cloud9.
Yeah, so what input do we have here? Is this MCE or Cupid throwing in a specific idea? Like, hey, do you guys remember this strat that we ran? Try and pull this one out. it feels too early to be a call about how you should run your attack half in general. You've just had the halftime to discuss that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you saw in the pistol round that's gonna really influence that. This has been a great match for all of the LATAM fans to tune in for. A lot of the expectations of people were just that Cloud9 would come in and crush.
Yeah.
And this one has been close, entertaining. Chances, so many chances for KRU to win. It's a bit of a revitalization towards the end of the season for this squad. Certainly a bone for the fans.
Certainly is. Setting us out with a bang here, MCE making sure he uses all the time to talk about what they want to approach with here. Obviously that investment, they're going up against the bonus.
Yeah, I am confused as to what the input is going to be right now. Maybe he spotted something in the pistol that he didn't like the idea of. I just don't really get it. They've just had a moment to talk to the teams and prep for the half.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It's difficult for us because we've never even seen this comp be played before by Cloud9, so we can't tell any adjustments.
Yeah. Extended timeout as well. Player had to run away for a quick second there on the KRU stage.
All right, okay.
We're going to get a bit more time as well. Really get tactical, really get in depth. I'm going to get a couple of extra minutes. Why not to talk about it?
Yeah. I think...
Want to get into it.
Yeah, you know, there's some really interesting questions for both of these teams heading later into the year too.
Yeah.
And for KRU, I think they'd love a win, not just here against Cloud9 because it's, you know, one of the top teams, but you're still looking towards LCQ. This is a team that's had success before.
You want hope.
You want some level of hope towards the end of the season that you could still make a run. You don't want to have to get to the end of the year and just think, well, that was a disaster. What do we have to do? Rebuild.
Yeah.
You know, you want still something.
This is that last chance in the regular split. Earn a win against one of the top teams.
And they haven't been out of it. They've had their moments.
They've had their moments, but they couldn't quite grasp it in map number 1. We'll see if this ends up changing things up. Winning the bonus would be tremendous to get them on that track. Jump spot on top of the fountain. Smoke going to be denying that info, though. It's deep. Does force out the drone from Klaus just to get a bit of that mid-round information. KRU doing a good job to deny any sort of space gain, but with that util being used, wow, Leaf. Crosshair placement was good there. Could have taken out Davies, flicks, and reacts. It's adequate enough. With Davies removed now, no more pace behind that one, actually. Cloud9 just not choosing to really go fast. They slow it down with 30 seconds in the round.
They're very slowed down.
30 seconds
And Rooney
left.
looked like he was pulling away from B main, and now he's going to return because this is going to end there.
Yeah.
A B split, 4 through market.
Smoke drop, though. Haven't cleared any of that util. It's still going to be an Nana Swarms. The rest of them have to commit somewhere. Has to be in the stairs, lined up for it. At the back of the site.
Down B.
Nags with a wide
Last
swing.
player standing.
Kesney behind. It's a full collapse. Cloud9 overcooking it slightly.
A very nice pace from Kesney. He gets behind them so quickly. Just as that door is fading down, and nobody was looking behind from Cloud9. Nobody even thought about the idea that there could be somebody pushing them from market. And normally there's many chances for that to happen. And here it is. Here's the timing that's taken just through the smoke.
Yep.
This is an extremely normal thing that teams are often looking for.
Down
They'll
B.
keep a player market, keep somebody watching for that at the very least.
Grants them a win on their bonus. This is fast. Oh, Melzer! A shot to fire, what a shot to hit. Davies still doesn't win that one. No one's ever got to sting it. Spam though into the smoke. And okay, take your pick, why not?
Too easy for Kesney, isn't it?
The common angles, I mean,
These last
luck
couple
of the
of rounds.
draw. Don't get me wrong, luck of the draw, but yeah, drops all of them. Cloud9, after losing that one, when really should have been favored with the weaponry, they resort to that fast play. Does not work out. They get stumped early on, and now KRU are assembling again a pretty similar lead
Oh, don't say it.
to what we were seeing in map number 1.
Don't say
they
it,
get into the point. They get into the point. You gotta take it all the way.
If I'm KRU, I'm deliberately trying to throw around so it doesn't end up at 12-6. Just for the mental.
Okay.
Just for the mental.
But then it gets them closer to the close map, which
Doesn't
they're not
matter.
doing well. It
Doesn't
doesn't matter?
matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
All right.
Never want to see a 12-6 again if I'm crew. So it's been Rooney's job here to control B main. Seems very strange to put your breach on that DUT. He's so far away from the rest of the team. I guess they're going to try to use the distance involved in his initiator kit to their advantage.
He should be able to just send fault lines and stuns, the fault line stuns and the flashes as well, quite a distance. There's long sidelines if you know the tech for it. But Cloud9 are grouping up. They want to try and go fast. Seekers, though. Paranoia gets used to try and push them away. Davies as well. Just pushes through, making sure that nobody was past the smoke.
And they decided to hard cancel. That's Leaf losing his dash. That means you can't go out A main. You're going to have to wrap around it. If they want to finish A, it's got to now be an A split.
Limits your options.
Pushing A main without a jet dash is just nigh on impossible.
Yeah.
But they are going to leave Zelsis here, which makes me think they're going to fake like it's going towards B and end back towards Cat.
Yeah, alarm bot taken out. You're exactly right. Moving over towards. Great knife timing.
Yeah, that's very big.
Zeppa, maybe
30
potentially even
seconds
more,
left.
and it gives them a good idea now. Crew are aware of this. Look at it, flooding into the site, making sure they can shore up the defenses. And what better player than Kesnet? Pulls aside a Jenny. Still need to find shots. Jake alive, but not for much longer. Not when Kesnet is this active, and he's got that confidence. 4 kills in the round. One more round to get to that point.
My math might be off, but I think that's 10 kills he's got in the last 3 rounds.
Yeah.
I think he got a 3K, 3K, 4K. I mean, it's just insane. He's been so instrumental. And it's not just in terms of his firepower. It's that he's got the read on where they're going. He's always got the correct idea of where Cloud9 are going to be ending. And that's not just him, that's the info that he's being given by, let's say, Davey's 0 point, which you called out on Catwalk, that catches all of those players and lets them know that the feint was indeed a feint towards market.
And this is why, you know, when we're talking about a composition coming up, we had these questions about it because there's a reason Ascent has been relatively standardized. People have been innovating, they've been chopping and changing, they've been running the Viper, but across the board, when you run the KO and Asova, gives you those tools to just, you can just stunt any sort of push, mid-round adaptations, when teams try to cut noise, they get bogged down.
Cloud9 are yet to even plant the spike in this half. These haven't been retakes from crew. These have just been stacked in the right place and absolutely dismantling. And this has been a real problem with running double flash initiators in general, not just on Ascent. But if you think about the teams that in the past used to run Breach and Sky, even on Bind, right? They were just always too readable. The places where they were going, it was too obvious where they were ending up. And I can appreciate Cloud9 trying to mix that up a little bit by having Rooney just play B main on his own. So the Breach utility is never where they're going, but it's not working. Crew have got the read. It's 11-6. It's an anti-eco. It's one away from the fated 12-6 scoreline.
Not again. Cloud9 pumping in the util. There was a dart at the back. They waited it out, and it does buy time for the rotations. This is there. Spamming, spraying. Always a dangerous task. Dashed up, round to the side. No way does he get one, but he's swarmed, overwhelmed.
Defender spawn.
And now, fight to be taken. Crew, they're lined up. No way, my goodness. It's all over the place.
It looked crazy. It looked like Cloud9's pivot, the mid-round, may have ended up working for them. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again.
This is different, though.
They have 6 chances.
This is different, though.
How is this different? They have 6 chances, Bran.
They're on a weaker side for the map, statistically.
Okay.
They don't look as practiced with the comp.
That's also very true.
There you go. It's not as standardized as their Lotus.
You're giving me very reasonable reasons here.
Looking like it should be pretty standard with 6 chances, but the stun catches 2 of the players. The flashes as well, they can't see anything lining it up. They have to watch it to the side here. Klaus, what a shot to hit. Spraying it down, almost collecting Jake as well. Kesnet not wasting time, not in the slightest. Past the aftershock. Stops his movement, just a tad. Does claim the 1 kill. Melter round and through, lockdown, buying time, buying space, pushing through. Flash, round, and that's it, it's done. No more wasted chances, no more wasted opportunities. Crew take map number 2.
That one is going to be such a boost for this crew team after it was almost impossible. In fact, it was impossible for them to close out their map point opportunities on Lotus. First time, slam dunk. And that's home ground territory for crew and a weird comp that Cloud9 brought to the table. But still, for it to be that decisive, again, I'll remind you, Cloud9 have only lost prior to this 3 maps in this split. 2 to Loud, 1 to NRG. They have been steamrolling teams at the bottom of the table, and you don't get any more bottom than crew. Crew are winless right down there, 0-8. But now they've got a chance as we head towards map 3, the decider, split. Crew will have their moment. And frankly, this could have been a 2-0.
Could have been a 2-0. We're approaching the end of the line here for the first series of the day. Davey's been an absolute menace, but it's time for a quick break. When we return, the analysts will get us ready for that critical map number 3. Don't go anywhere.